I wanted an internet radio streamer for my Raspberry Pi, like odd dials on my Android tablets. After looking quite a while on various websites, I decided on RadioTray, because it's supposed to be simple and straightforward. Installation was very simple. And what you get is an extra sound and video, and there's RadioTray. That comes up with this, and you can have various and sundry genres. Let's look at, say, classical. Volume control is very non-linear. Let's put it that way. The way you install it is just a sudo apt install. Well, what you should do is do a sudo apt-get update. Make sure you get the latest RadioTray. Once that's done, all you have to do, type in sudo apt or apt-get, they're both the same, install RadioTray. And since I already did this, it just goes ahead and says you already have the newest version. This is what the RadioTray says. It's an online radio streaming player. It runs on Linux system tray. And its goal is to have a minimum interface possible, and it's very straightforward to use. It's very true. You can add stations. For example, I added a local, well, not quite local, station in country, ACTR Cat Country 2.9. Where you do that is you configure radios. And what I did is I went to country, clicked on country, and then just did an add. Type in the radio name, and here's the hardest part, is getting the URL. To get the URL, I had to go to billsparks.net radio lookup. And it shows, type in your call sign and the frequency, what type it is. And this is what you want, is the media player. So if you take a copy of that, go back to RadioTray, just copy in the URL, that is what you will get. You can then listen to that local station. Took a little while, but there it is. RadioTray uses a bookmarks.xml file under .local share RadioTray bookmarks.xml, like that. It has the group, it's a bookmark name, you fill in, and then the URL. And if you look at country, here's the bookmark name that I put in and the URL that I got from the Bill Sparks. There's also another way to get the radio stations, and I found it in Ubuntu forums. and that is Radio Tray, how to add stations. And there is a list that shows a lot of stations, and you can go through it and use Radio Tray. Let's look at that. And here it is. This contributor says that he had a lot of problems finding internet stations. So he made a file that has lot 4,800 stations, nearly, all types. Here's the file. And what I had to do is go over to my Raspberry Pi and essentially download that. When that downloaded, it was under downloads. So if we look at what is in downloads, it had a tar.gz file. And to unpack that tar file, or tarball, what I had to do is cd into downloads, and then do a tar-xvf and the name. So if you did a tar-xvf and then the name, you notice there is a parentheses here. What you have to do is put a quote around that name. You do that, you will get something called radio stations 1, 2. So if you do a cd into radio stations 1.2 with single quotes around it, you get there. You do an ls, it shows radios text. So if we look at radio stations .txt, it will show your station name and the URL. Use those to either add via this way, configure radios, or you can use it to look at to modify the sh file, which we just looked at, bookmarks.xml. Also, all you'd have to do is put the greater than, less than signs in here with the proper quotes. You'd be able to modify that with, say, nano, or just use the radio tray itself. So far, I've been relatively pleased with it.